What's up, peoples? This is Jose Marquez along with my co host Chico from the Cause and Effect crew. And we want to thank you for joining us for another Sunday BYOB podcast, where we have real conversations with real guests about real life issues. Our goals are always to stimulate the body, soul, and spirit with thought provoking conversations, jokes, and some drama. Just like some like to bring their own bottles to parties, we ask that you bring your own Bible, perspectives, curiosity, and insight about life, today's issues, and that together we discover a better way to deal with life. I hope you're curious, because if you are, let's go. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another BYOB episode. This is gonna be a fun one because this is something that I know hasn't been. This is one that I know hasn't been shared much, especially in a religious or spiritual type setting. But it's something that's so important, right? It could save marriages. It could save people, like literally.
Yeah.
And we're going from a verse, and I'm gonna be sharing this verse every single time. But before I share the verse, Chico, say what's up to the crowd.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Co-host, Cause and Effect. Go ahead.
Gotta put the volume up right
Wow.
there. Hey,
No
get it.
love.
Now we got some love. Let's go. Let's go. We here.
And we also have with us for the second time with us, right? We have Anthony Segara. What's up, Ant?
What up? What up?
Make it long this time. Make it long.
Nah,
Hey.
Some more love, right?
Keep it there. Keep it there.
Standing ovation. Yeah.
And we're gonna be starting a series, Body, Soul, and Spirit. Body, soul, and spirit, right? And it's based on one of the letters from this man named John, one of Jesus's followers. And he says in one of his letters, "Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you and that you may be in good health." And then he says, "as it goes well with your soul." Right? So he includes everything in a human being, body, soul, and spirit, in just one verse. And he's saying God wants it to go well with you. God wants it to go well. Right. And today we're going to be talking about the body. Right. And I mean, if you can see me, like, my body isn't the best. It still needs a lot of chiseling. I've been called fat today.
Yo.
I've been called, what's the
Who
other
did
one?
that?
Fat? Old. I was
Deaf.
called old
That's crazy.
They said you were deaf.
and deaf. Like, I'm fat, old, and deaf.
I don't
Like,
know who said that.
I'm
I think
hurt.
it was your wife. I think.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
But I'm gonna endure. I'm gonna endure for the sake of our audience. BYOB.
Well, good news, bro. You do have a six pack. It's just underneath a layer or two.
See what I gotta
There.
go through, bro.
There.
See what I gotta go
six
through.
pack. Got a six pack.
Gotta mold it. That's all.
But today, y'all gonna help me. Y'all gonna help me out. And we got a mystery guest that's gonna be coming in between everything, that's gonna mess your heads up.
Yep.
But we got something for everybody today. But we definitely, what we want to focus on is fitness. We want to focus on exercise. We want to focus on, because I think that's a big aspect of what health is, right? So I brought Anthony in because I knew Anthony when he was, I called him fat before, but he was like me.
Whatever that
Pleasantly
means.
plump.
Whatever that means.
Pleasantly plump.
Nice.
But I remember seeing your journey, right? And I remember kind of secretly criticizing and judging it. When you would come with your little Tupperwares, and we was all in a barbecue, and he had a little Tupperware like this, and acting like he was enjoying it. He definitely was not enjoying it. We were eating ribs and burgers. He's like, "Give me the burger, no bread." Like, and for us, we were like,
Yo,
"What's
that's discipline.
wrong with this dude?"
That's discipline. Going
No,
to a barbecue?
That's nothing. He has more. I promise you, he has more.
Man.
But I want to begin this by just asking you, basically, like, when did that begin? Like, what spurred it? What made you want to begin this fitness journey that you've been on?
Man, to be honest, it was I believe it was like a month in summer where we had an event, a youth event, and I was worship leading for that event, and I'm on stage, and I'm, in this event you had to have a lot of energy, so we're all bouncing around, jumping around, and whatnot, and midway through one of the songs, I remember getting dizzy. I remember like losing breath, and like I felt completely like weak, to the point where I had to come off stage mid song.
Wow.
And I had to sit for like at least 10 minutes. Mind you, we have this event going on. And I knew right off the bat. I was like, man, at that point I was 215 pounds.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'9", 5'10".
Oh, so you were fatter than me. Go ahead. I feel better. Keep going.
Yeah, because I'm shorter. um, um, so yeah, it was around that time I knew, and you know, a lot of stuff leading up to that. You know, like I like to play basketball every so often. Not that I'm good at it, but I like to play basketball, and just even playing basketball hurt. It's just like moving. I would have a lot of knee issues, a lot of joint issues, ankle issues. I would go home, my ankles are inflamed. And it's not that I was injured or anything, it was just a lot of weight on my puny little legs. So, yeah, I decided to kind of do a complete 360.
And how old were you when this happened?
I would say I've been on this journey for about 11, 12 years, something like that.
Oh, wow.
So probably around 23, 24, maybe.
Okay. So he let y'all ladies know his age. Keep going.
Not really. I could be lying. So I decided to just to you know, initially just start slimming down. So I just did everything cold turkey. I'm just like that. Like when I put my mind into something, I do everything like extreme. I'm an extremist.
Now, did you start with the dieting first or the exercising first?
Okay, so being that I knew nothing about fitness, I started it with the exercise first. And I was clanging and banging, moving weight, and nothing was happening for the first maybe couple months. And I'm like, dude, this ain't working. These guys are all on juice, even the females. And,
Something.
Yeah, something was going on. And then little by little, you know, just doing my own research, studying, and then I like to look at my body as a test project, so to speak, where I'm always testing something new and seeing what my body is able to handle, what I'm able to do, and what I'm able to not do, what works, what doesn't work. And eventually just started getting it more into the health side of things, and the food side of things, nutrition, and eating the right things. And you know, that was a whole journey, because you know, there's a bunch of ways to do things. You got to nowadays you have a diet for everything. Everybody has a name for a diet. You got Atkins, you got keto, you got this, you got that. And I'm never going to be one to say one is wrong or one is better than the other. It's what works for you, essentially. What's good for you, you know? Essentially, they all have almost the same thing in common, just a different name. But if that name or that specific diet works for you, then by all means, do it, you know? So,
Man, you're saying all this. I'm judging myself so hard. Because, like, I know what I eat. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But for me, I had similar things, like, and we had this conversation on season 1 of the Cause and Effect podcast. One of the last seasons was health, and we talked about how in my household my mom would think that I was gonna die because I stopped eating meat for a while. I was trying to go vegan, and then I tried the vegetarian, and then, you know, I did all these things, and my parents would look at me like I was crazy, and then they would laugh at me when I would stop doing the diet, and they would be like, "Oh, I thought you was on a diet," and I was like, "Yes, I'm trying to see what works. I'm trying to figure out what I can really stay consistent with." To this day, I still have that issue, but it doesn't stop me from at least putting my mind in that place where I need to change this and I need to eliminate this, and I'll do it for some time. But I have accountability partners now, so you know, I'm being more pushed.
You have an accountability savage.
Yeah.
Yes, she is a savage.
I mean,
she makes me feel guilty. Very.
For me, when I got into it, man, I went OD with it though. Like,
You went all in.
all in. I'm talking about
Bringing Tupperware to a barbecue.
I'm talking about going to book bag, going to holiday parties, whether it be Thanksgiving, Christmas,
With your own food.
Tupperware, scale, everything. Like,
So you
I'm
were like,
measuring-
I'm making sure I'm eating the
measuring,
right.
Yeah, it's like I'm counting every macro, everything like that. So
Did you cut out alcohol as well?
everything.
Everything.
Everything. Yeah, I didn't even have cheat meals at that time. Now, if you see my cheat meals, you're like, this
They're
guy's
insane.
not. There's no way he's into fitness.
But his cheat
But you
meal
got
is
you
like
you got there. You made yourself be able to get to that place where you
Yeah,
can do
just
that with the cheat
learning.
meals.
Well, just learning what the
Work.
rights and wrongs for my body type, and what I can tolerate, what I can't tolerate.
I think that's important. I think that's important because, like you said, there's so many people that they get frustrated and they quit. They quit because they try this diet and this diet and this diet. And I like how you say you got to find what works for you, and really commit to what works for you. I think that's super important.
Yeah, like now, I don't necessarily count my macros. I don't do any of that anymore. Like, I eat till I'm full. I do a version of intermittent fasting. So like my lunch would consist of maybe like a large sweet potato, steak, or whatever type of meat, and then some sort of fat, whether that be organic butter or nuts or whatever the case is. Dinner would be maybe veggies, some type of meat, and some sort of fat. And right before bed, I'll have like a banana and peanut butter. Or if I want to get fancy, I'll put my banana in a little blender and get all bougie and put coconut milk in there, and then I have my little smoothie. But that's pretty much what my day looks like. So I usually fast for 15, 16 hours. So my last meal would be around 7, 8 o'clock at night, and I won't eat till 11, 12 the next day.
That's so good. How long was it when you started this journey? How long did it take from it being, ugh, I hate this, dieting is the devil, I rebuke you in Jesus' name, until it got to the place where you're feeling the results of it, right? Because I think that's why so many of us quit, and I'm joining with you guys because I'm hurting too. Where it's that beginning stage, right? When you're creating the discipline, when you're starting this journey, and it feels like everything is just up. Like I have battles with like soda. Like Anna only lets me drink soda once a week now. And like when I do drink it, like she's judging me like hard, like she's looking at me. That's 1 cup, that's 2 cup, that's 3 cup, right? But I try my hardest to just drink it on Fridays when we go to Bible study group. And today I failed, so she already told me tomorrow's gonna be a problem. But that's like one little thing, right? But that's the one little thing that for me is a big thing because I used to do it every single day.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to do is just add like little 1 or 2 meals during the week, no carbs at all. And I told her to surprise me with it, right? Because I mean, I don't cook, I clean, I do all that good stuff, but that's for the marriage series. You could hear that in those podcasts. But I'm trying to find what works for me, I guess you would say. Because I mean, as you so lovingly told me before, I'm old. So because
just a little bit,
no, he's like, all right, no, I mean my age. I'm like, oh,
yeah, because
okay.
he was asking me, yo, you cut your beard? I'm like, I'm trying to stay young. He was like, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I'm starting, I was starting to look old. He was like, we're our age. I'm like, no.
He was like, relax.
I don't know about that.
So
Not there yet.
The thing is, the older you get, and most of our crowd, I would say, is between 20 to 30. But the older you get, the more you begin to feel this stuff, right? You begin to feel this stuff. Not only see it, but you feel it.
Yeah.
And, I'm at a place where I'm like, I regret that it's taking me this long to want to make changes. But is it ever too late?
I don't think so. You look at it. I know a lot of people who are in their 50s, 60s that are either continuing their journey or just starting their journey and seeing excellent results. And I think what you mentioned earlier, about the soda thing. It starts with, well, if you don't have that in the house, you're not going to drink it. And that's how I did things. Where if I don't have something in the house, I'm not going to eat it.
Y'all get cranky when there's no snacks in the house.
But the thing is like there's always alternatives. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't necessarily snack much because I don't need it. But before, I would snack. I would find my things and just choose like healthier alternatives. But I don't think you ever get too old, man.
But what were the time periods with that? Like you said, but now I don't need it. How long was it from point A to point B?
It took a while. You just need to you need to learn your body. That's what happens, and learn essentially what is working for you. Learn. The reason why we snack is because we're hungry. And I can put money on it that the reason why you're hungry is because you didn't eat enough. Whatever you ate that for lunch. So you didn't eat enough of the food that you cooked. So if it was some healthy broccoli, grilled chicken, you didn't eat enough of it. So now it's not holding you till dinner. So now your body is like, I need to do something, And also sometimes, just keep in mind, when you're doing low carb stuff, you're going to want to snack a lot more. Just because naturally your body feeds off of carbs for energy. It's an energy source. So is fats, but more so carbs. So if you're on a low carb diet, one, you're gonna feel like crap, and then two, you're gonna have a lot of cravings. So it's just understanding what to do when you have those cravings. So instead of having soda, there are alternatives. They sell this soda-like thing in I forget what it's called, begins with a Z, but it's in Target. I've tried them and they're not bad. There's no ingredients, no sugar and whatever inside in it, but it's good. It tastes good. I mean, it doesn't taste exactly like Coke, but it's good enough to get by and satisfy the cravings.
Yeah.
That's so good. One of the reasons that I think this particular podcast is so important, because I see so many people trying to take the short route or the shortcut towards looking a different way, right? Like they'll get the strap, the rubber band, the cutting the stomach, or
All the quick fixes.
these quick fixes that, I mean, I've known people that almost died with these quick fixes. Number one. Number two, I've known more people that were disappointed with the results because, okay, you got this, you lost 100 pounds, but the skin is still there. So I've seen all these different things, the disappointment. I've seen divorces. I've seen breakups because the husband didn't like what was before him. And again, I feel like it's just a shortcut. Like we don't want to diet, we don't want to exercise. And I also love the fact that we're more than halfway through this almost halfway through this podcast. We haven't even talked about weights. We haven't even talked about working out. It's all been dieting. Is there a reason for that?
I believe that dieting is 85% of the battle. As a matter of fact, yeah, you need movement, you need weight, you need resistance to achieve a certain goal when it comes to like trying to build muscle, because you need to break down muscle. The muscle needs to now recover and all that stuff. That's that portion. But to slim down, to get in a healthier, I guess, state of being, it's all about nutrition.
That's so.
And as a matter of fact, I swear by just having just nutrition being. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh, I was like, ADD. No, I think nutrition even helps with health, overall health. Not just in fitness world. I'm talking about like illnesses. If you look into studies that people have done with the things that they intake on a daily basis, a lot of illnesses are caused by gut health, and a lot of the foods that we eat causes inflammation.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Inflammation then triggers a bunch of other red flags in your body and triggers a bunch of other diseases that go on in your body.
That's so good. I'm sure there's plenty of females out there that want help, that maybe have questions, and that's why we brought a mystery guest. So we're going to pause it real quick. We're going to introduce our mystery guest. We'll be right back.
Let's get it.
And as promised, our special guest, my beautiful cousin, Nicole Marquez, is with us, and she's gonna be able to bring us that female perspective that I think is so important too for our female audience. And I want to ask you the same question that I asked Anthony. Like, where did your fitness journey begin? Like, what led to the changes that you've made?
It's crazy you ask me that because I feel like it started off as just something to do, in college. Like, that we got that college feel. Oh, we got to go to the gym. We got to go do this. We got to do that. We're in our dorm. So I feel like it became my routine. Like, just love to do this. And then from there, I don't know. I was trying to figure myself out. I was trying to find myself, but I figured throughout all those changes I had in my careers and my dislikes and my likes, I realized fitness has always been in parts of my life, and it never changed, and it always made me feel good. And I said, I don't want to run away from things that make me feel good, so this is the one thing I'm going to run towards.
That's so good.
And I started to do it more and more and get involved in what people knew and got in their brains, know the physicalities, you know, repetitive movements, studying the body, and from there learning from people that knew what I wanted to know.
So you got under people that knew what you wanted to know. That's so good.
Still trying, Jose, still trying.
And what has led you to want to train others? Because that's something that you're doing now as well. Like, what led to that? Because it's one thing to train yourself, to get to that place yourself, but what led you to want to help others in their journeys?
I feel like it was a lot of help for me to get told what to do and to get guided through it. And then I felt like, this feels so good. I love this experience. I want to do that for someone else. I remember having a trainer, and we won't say names, but the trainer was not your ideal trainer. And I said, wow, do people really go through this with someone that's supposed to guide them through their health journey in a different part of their life? And I said, I want to be someone different. I want to try it out.
That's so good.
I want to try it out.
And I think we need more people like that, right? Like people that want to help for
that make you
a
feel
genuine
good.
help.
I always love to make people feel good. You have no idea. Chico knows. I'm always complimenting him so much. He feels so weird about it. He doesn't know how to take it. But I feel like people need to know.
Very awkward when it comes to that. I can't compliment people.
More awkward than if you get a hug?
Kind
But that's so good. I mean, you know, if you're working towards a positive, good goal, you want to be told you're headed in a positive, good, you know, in a positive way. And you know, I love like when I have questions, usually I'll go to Ant. And one of the things, like I have this lower back issue. I got 2 herniated discs, so I got to kind of be careful, but I still want to build muscle around it. And I remember I hit Ant up. And I expected like a whole list of back exercises, but the exercises he sent me had nothing to do with the back, right? Why is that? Why is it that some muscles that we think we should work out? Because this is what happens. You go to the gym, 90% of men are where? Chest exercises.
Chest press.
Or biceps.
Press.
Right? Like that's all they're
Or
doing.
the weight racks.
The back exercises are always available. You know, the leg stuff. Left stuff be empty.
cables.
Curling at the squat rack.
Yo.
Yeah, that's all you see. Why is that though?
Well, what was the question?
Why one muscle? Like you will focus on the wrong muscle.
Yeah. Well, I think there's you have the muscle that you want to target, and then you have stabilizing muscles. So in your case, you were talking about like, you know, lower back pain and whatnot. A lot of times, lower back pain is attributed to weak glutes or weak hamstrings. Why? Because a lot of your movements are stemming from your back as opposed to your glutes or your hamstrings. And your hamstrings and your glutes, your lower body, essentially is what almost your core, other than your center, your abs and your lower back. But a lot of that stems from your just weak glutes. I know for me, I know there's been times that I've had like a lockup in my lower back. I'll go on a foam roller and I'll start foam rolling my glutes, and immediately the pressure alleviates.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is why it's important to know people, right? Like I know in Nicole's case, someone can go to Orange Theory, come to you, and you can help them out. I know you were thinking about studying more on fitness to be a trainer and things like. You're actually gonna do it.
I am.
So he's gonna be trained to help people out, and you know I think. You know, people like me, like the regular Joe that wants to lose a few pounds and things like that, we have to do the dieting, right? Find someone that knows what they're doing and just cut things off, right? Like little things. And like you said, find the thing that works for you. But like for females, right? Because I'm sure the dieting different? Like for the male body, the female body?
I think slightly. I don't think it's much. I think the principle is the same, but
Yeah. I would say yes and no. So, when a guy has more muscle put onto them, that increases their likelihood to burn more calories. So sometimes their eating has to be way different from a female so that they can maintain their weight or whatever their goal is. So with that being said, there are some differences in the male body, the female body. When it comes to your goal, some of those tendencies seem to correlate where they're the same. A lot of people that want to bodybuild, they have to lift heavier. They have to focus on really targeting those muscles and eating more as well to really get those muscles bigger and growing and getting the gains that they call them. But, if other way around, if you want to lose weight, you might be hitting a little bit more high intensity. I love to do cardio, but I love to include weights with it. So you're building and you're toning at the same time. I don't really like to do just running. You lose muscle.
And I think that's important because, most females, and y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, most females want to lose weight or get toned up. Like, they very rarely want to gain weight. So what do you, because, I feel like I've seen women do it, like they'll work out with their significant other and they're repeating the movements of the significant other.
Yes.
And the significant other is lifting weights, doing 3 sets, very heavy. They want to do 3 sets very heavy. Is that the correct thing to do?
No. It depends on what your goal is. What level are you both on in your fitness journey? Did you start together? Do you know that she's capable of that weight selection? Do you know if her core is strong enough? Because along with what he was saying, your core could be a main factor into why your lower back hurts also, because you're not using it enough. And therefore, you compensate by using your back. And that's a lot. It's crazy because in training and things that I'm studying now, it's called regional interdependence. And what that means is that you could be feeling something, and I was just telling Chico this today. You could be seeing an imperfection in someone's form from their knees internally rotating. And you may think, oh, maybe it's happening because they have weak quads, the front of their legs are a little weak. They don't have enough strength in their glutes, but sometimes it could be somewhere in the foot and ankle.
Yep.
So it's like, you got to explore that body. You need to know what is going on in that body, and you need to target
That's so
it.
good. It's
So
so good
I
because
want to relate this somehow into our topic, regional interdependence.
that's so good. It's so good because you're sharing this, and you weren't here. Ant was talking about the same thing in his journey, where he most of the beginning aspects of his journey, he was just trying to figure himself out. And I think this is gonna tie perfectly with the Body, Soul, Spirit series, because we're starting with the body, but already with the body, both of you have told me you have to know yourself.
Yes.
We haven't even gotten to the soul. We haven't even gotten to the spirit. We're in the body realm, and we're already saying how important it is to be aware of your own body, right? Because I think, again, that's another mistake with what you mentioned, with all these things going off, or you're prejudging, what's wrong when you don't even really know what's wrong. And that leads you used another term, to compensate. And now you hurt yourself even further.
Yep.
Which again, this discourages so many people from going to the gym.
And that's what happens a lot, because there's this like notion that you have to lift heavy to get a certain result, and I'm not a believer in that. I'm a believer in maximize every rep. So make every rep count, right? So and that means perfecting your form. Form is key. For example, if you're on bench press and you're having shoulder issues, that might mean that your arms are flared out way too much on the side. You have to keep them things tucked in. Maybe lower the bar a little bit further down your chest.
Take some weight off so that you can get the form right.
Yes, because again, if you're not strong enough to lift that, like she said, your other body parts, triceps, other body parts, your shoulders mainly, they're going to compensate. And a lot of times you'll see, even in bench pressing, a lot of people either tear their rotator cuff or they tear a pec. Why? Because I'm trying to impress people in the gym. Nah.
And you weren't ready.
No, you weren't ready for that weight.
No.
That's her Kevin Hart voice.
You're not ready.
No.
Lower the weight. Lower it.
mind you, he's heavy on the fitness journey right now, and I love it.
And it's
Kevin Hart.
yeah, he's killing it. He's killing it. But one of the things that you see is but I think both of you have mentioned that, and it eludes from your words the passion that you have. But not only the passion, but you enjoy it, right? And I think if you're gonna have results, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're gonna have results in your fitness journey, in your health journey, you have to be able to enjoy it at some point. I mean, you might not enjoy it in the beginning because, like I said, like those cravings are gonna be legit and real. But at some point you begin to enjoy the results. How long was it before you began to enjoy the results? Not see the results, but enjoy them, and then you can answer the same question.
Well, my perspective was different. Starting off, I was so focused on the end goal that I wasn't embracing the process. So those little wins. Hey, I this week I cut out soda. That's a big win. It may be a little win in the large scheme of things, but that's a big win. Hey, I cut out soda for the week. Now, what else can I cut next week? You know what I'm saying? So it's embracing the process, just learning your body, you know. And for me, it wasn't until I caught on to that mindset where it's like, all right, yeah, tomorrow I'm not going to hit, you know, this ripped, shredded body, beach bod, but by tomorrow I'm going to achieve something different, whether that be, hey, today I did 2 extra reps on bench press, or today I did 10 extra pounds on curling, or today I lunged for a little longer, you know, whatever the case may be.
Last one.
Lunging? Oh man, you won't like my workouts. I don't run. My cardio isn't running. My cardio, I do 800 meters of lunging every day.
Anything that ends at 100, I don't like.
800 meters of lunging.
Babe,
To me,
he got some strong knees. Like the stallion got nothing on him. Okay.
No, to me, I like, and I love what she said, that I'm not a runner. I can't stand running, and not that it's bad, but I think, one, it's boring. Two, I don't get good results. I've done it, and I feel like I always lose muscle when I do.
You do. If you just hone down on calorie burning versus the muscle building, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm so loving this convo. Like, I love talking to people that know what they're talking about. Right now for you, the question is probably different, because you said you've always had these moments of exercise or of working out and things like that. For you, the question would be, how do you keep the enjoyment? Because it could become monotonous as well, right? Like the dieting could be so routine that it's boring, or the exercise could be so routine that it's boring. Like, how do you keep that passion going?
I think that keeping it different has kept it alive for me. You know, what that means is I always switch it up. And for some people, that may seem silly, because then I don't have a split routine. You know, I'm not doing back on Monday and Wednesday and biceps on Tuesdays and Fridays or whatever. But I'm doing a workout every day that gives me the same maximal results as if I was lifting heavy, and I feel better doing it, and I'm more functional, and I can that's what my job is about. More life. Everything we do is about more life. That. So the functional training it's the functional training for me.
Yeah. No, what call me is that more life. You can't say more life around a Christian and the Christian not get excited. So, because again, I love that, Nicole. I love that, because you're saying more life, and we're talking about the body, and we're talking about dieting and exercising. And I think way too many believers have forgotten the important verses, such as your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. If you don't take care of the temple, what are you giving the Spirit to work with? You know, and we're gonna get into the soul. We're gonna get into the spirit. But before we get into that, we gotta understand this body, because this body is housing that. And if all we're doing is fasting and praying and memorizing verses, and this is what bothers me, and I'm talking to the church family right now. It bothers me, because you'll have someone that's obese, that's unhealthy, and they'll be judging someone because they're coming to the church dressed a certain way. But how can you judge the person that's dressed a certain way, but you're dressing yourself with 600 extra pounds that shouldn't even be there? Because that's a greater sin than what a person is wearing. The Bible talks about gluttony. The Bible talks about not taking care of the temple of the Holy Spirit. The Bible does mention these things, like they are important to God.
That's good.
Right? And this question is aimed at you, have you ever felt a backlash from the Christian community concerning, because one of the things that I like about Anthony is that he shares his exercising. Like he says, do this for this. I did do this amount of sets or this amount of reps, and it's going to help this. And I know you're passionate about that, but have you ever received backlash?
I've received a lot of backlash. A lot of it because I'm comfortable at the gym. So my tanks are huge. So, yeah, I am showing skin, so to speak. But in essence, it's just how I feel. I feel I don't like having tight shirts on. I don't like having things. I feel like I'm like, I guess, being, like, compressed in a sense. I like loose fit stuff. So when I'm at the gym, nothing's tight. So anytime I receive backlash, it's because, oh my God, I can't believe you're dressing this way. All right, just forget the whole workout I just posted.
Just go get some Gymshark outfits so they can approve your workout, please. It's all about presentation.
Forget the reps, the sets. Forget everything encouraging I put on that post.
Oh my God! You know what? Preach.
What do you think is the real reason behind that? Because it's not what you're wearing. I don't feel like that's their real reason for coming at you. There's some deeper lying issues.
I just think it I don't know. I've been told it's lustful reasons. I've been told a slew of things.
But lust isn't your issue. Lust is the person who's lusting.
That's the concern. Whenever I'm told, it's like, well, you shouldn't be doing that because you're going to cause such and such to lust after you. I'm like, well, all right, yeah.
but you get what I'm saying? Like they're putting a weight on you that isn't yours to bear. At the end of the day. And I love the fact that you've stayed committed to, because I do think this is a God thing. I think this podcast is a God thing. I think Nicole being able to come and share her perspective is a God thing. Because again, way too many in the church, they want to spiritualize everything. But again, if we spiritualize everything, yet die at 40, did you fulfill your purpose?
That's the thing. If we're looking at life, for me, I want to live life for the long run. Right? So I'm thinking about I'm thinking about my son. I'm thinking about ministry. I'm thinking about all that. I can't do that if I'm not healthy.
And you shared how it was actually in the midst of ministering that you realized, that you needed to make a change.
Yeah, I was out of breath, man. My knees, everything. I actually almost nearly passed out on stage, and I had to come off stage. And it was that day I was like, man, something's got to change. Like, eating Applebee's, Wendy's, and all this is not good.
Yo, we used to kill Applebee's.
Oh, yeah, bro. And then, what the funny part is that I thought, I got into the health kick, so I started going to Taco Bell, ordering a quesadilla. I'm like, it's chicken. It's chicken.
That's what we tell ourselves.
Good. There's no bread, bro. It's just chicken and cheese. So, that's how it started. And I quickly learned that.
It's so crazy, man. Like the things... Jesus said this that I found to be fascinating, and it's a verse that doesn't really get preached about, right? He says, you swallow. Okay. You pick out a gnat, but swallow a camel.
Wow.
And I feel that this is what happens, right? Because the church will attack when we talk about the temple as, the body as being the temple of the Holy Spirit, and it'll be these pastors that are unfortunately misinformed or mistaught or misinterpreting scripture, that they'll take that to mean tattoos. So like, man, like, I'm done, you're done. Yeah, hide that. You're done. Almost all of us in this room got an issue because, we're marked up in some way. But when you look at the scripture and when you look at what they were actually saying, like, gluttony has nothing to do with tattoos, bro. Like, that has everything to do with what we're putting into our body, and again, it's this appearance thing. Like, they're worried about, they condemn and judge your appearance while ignoring their own. Because your appearance is telling me that there's a lack of balance in you as well, my brother, my sister. And you know, knocking me isn't helping you. It's not helping you. It's not serving you. Right. And I loved it. Oh man, you guys, like, I want to hear this already.
Yeah.
You know, and we still got 2 more episodes to go. Because again, when we talk about body, soul, and spirit, body, soul, and spirit. So we're going to talk about the mind. We're going to talk about the soul. We're going to talk about the spirit. And I'm sure like most of our audience is probably like, yeah, like that's what BYOB is supposed to be about. But you know what? Like over and over, if you read the Old Testament, if you read Genesis dietary laws, if they were followed, we'd be good. We'd be good. If we just ate what the Bible prescribes and says that we should eat and stay away from the Bible says that we shouldn't eat. And I'm Puerto Rican, bro. I love me some pork. You know, like I love me some
And
pork.
Think about, you know, even fasting. What is fasting essentially? You know, yes, you could do different types of fast. You got the social media fast and all that. But what is fasting like when it came to Bible and biblical terms? Like what was fasting? You had the Daniel fast. Daniel fast was literally nothing but plants, literally.
Yes.
Right, and these were
For
all
21 days. And the results were spiritual, but they began in the physical.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here? We're beginning with the physical because we've come to understand, and when you interpret scripture correctly, and wow, this just came down, like the physical creates a pathway for the spiritual. And you mentioned it before, and I know Carolyn Leaf talks a lot about this, that there's certain foods that affect our brain.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
You know, and I mean, for you, Nicole, like, what are some of the things that dietary wise that you would recommend for a woman? Let's say the basics, like the woman wants to begin the journey to lose some weight to feel better about herself. Where could she begin?
Good question. It's crazy to say that everyone has a different type of routine that's going to work for them. I could tell you I'm going to work out 3 times a day. I'm going to have mostly every meal on point, but I might have a little cheat. I might
That's
cheat
the
a
cheat
little
that
bit.
hurts you.
And the cheat that is the cheat that could set you back to stay where you are versus moving forward. But my point being that I could probably still progress even having that little cheat, because I know that the next day I'm still going to go ham. So I feel like what you do, that combination of everything is going to work for different women. But if I could give you a good answer besides that, because I don't want to be so vague, is, you know, you got to eat. You got to start by nourishing and fueling your body, because without that fuel comes no energy. And without energy, we just stay stagnant. You need to fuel the body, feed the body what it needs to work like a machine, just like a car. We put the fuels in that vehicle to run smoothly, and that's what we got to do with our bodies.
That's so good.
So, you know, the things you hear on TV, the vegetables, the fruits, the carbs, the fats, the proteins, that's all real. How are you going to implement it into your plate? The plate, it's not a triangle. It's a circle with a nice side of greens if you could. But try to grab it in there. Try to grab your proteins, your carb, your healthy fats. Keep it consistent throughout the day. That keeps your body moving, and it most likely will help you get that metabolism going to just keep your body going, keep the digestive system going, keep that fuel running through that vehicle.
That's so good. I love the metaphor, right? The whole car thing. I'm thinking about someone that once shared with me that she wanted to get somewhere quicker, right? So she had a car. And because she wanted to get there quicker, she figured that the most powerful form of gas would get her there quicker. So she put diesel into her car. And, you know, after driving a little bit, not only did the car not get there quicker, it didn't get there at all because it just shut down. But I think those quick fixes, exactly, you know, those things get us in trouble. Right, when we want a quick fix, when we don't understand that it's a journey, it's the process, it's a discipline, and I kick myself like a lot, but I do also kind of take a little bit of pride in, because you know what, when I put myself next to other 42-year-olds, like in most instances, I'm still
Don't
winning.
do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
I'm
gonna
still
say,
winning.
I was gonna say, don't
And,
compare
but I
yourself
don't
to them
want
in a bad
that
way.
to be my metric, right? I don't want that to be my standard, because ultimately, like in a believer's life, your standard should always be Christ. And when you think about the disciples in Jesus, like there were no cars, there were no boats, there were no trains, there were no planes. They were trooping it everywhere. And when you look at what they ate, like they ate correctly. It doesn't emphasize it, but they ate correctly. They exercised. Their exercise was in the form of their walking and their journeys and their trips and things that they did like that. And again, it just looks different. I think if there's a current theme that we've been able to share throughout this podcast as we reach this end is that everyone's journey is gonna look different. Right, in the description, guys, we're gonna have Ant's contact info, Nicole's contact info, so that you can see what they're doing. You can see where their journey is, so that you can maybe get some hips. I meant to say tips and help at the same time.
You might get hips.
Help and
You might get hips.
so that we can see all this and hopefully get inspired, and hopefully it'll lead you in the right way. I want to end this by just asking this last question to both of you. And it's, in this fitness journey, what have you learned about yourself?
Want to go first?
Lady first.
What have I learned about myself? Oof. I've learned that I've learned so much. Where do I start, to be honest? I've learned that fitness is a mental game. It could make you or break you. One moment, you feel like you don't want to go, and your mind could just be like, don't go. But that other side of you that knows what it wants says, nah, bitch, you gotta go. Sorry. You gotta go. Okay? So that's tough, man. Mental toughness. I've heard it. I'm learning, and I hear other people and their battles with it. And it just makes me motivated more. What else have I learned? What was the question? Because I'm just getting.
What have you learned about yourself?
Okay, what have I learned about myself? I've learned that it's still a learning process for me with that, but I have come a long way. I think I'm in the best shape of my life that I've ever been, and I think it's because of that stepping stone, from quarantine to on. Amen. Because I feel like I came back from quarantine stronger than when I got into it.
It's so good.
So damn, man, mental toughness and just like your will to have fun with it. I just told my members today in my studio, guys, this is your playground, this studio. Have fun with it. Let's go.
That's so
and
good.
So that's it, man. Have fun. Keep it spicy. And just try to enjoy it. Make it what you like. It doesn't have to be what everyone else is doing. It doesn't have to be 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps.
That's so good.
It could be as many reps as possible, as many rounds as possible. Something similar to what he's talking about. How many rounds can you go in 16 minutes? That's your workout right there.
And you see the competitive fire that she has? Like, she riling me up. Like, I'm like, yo, let's go. And then we get to understand. I'm like, I can't do this.
So that's it.
But I love it. I love it. I love how you just drop the mic and kind of ready to go. When you came to my wedding, like you were dashing, like you were gorgeous, like I. My wife's a snack.
I love you.
It's so funny because we were looking through pictures and my sister-in-law was like, I hate her. But look at her. And she would make it big. Like she would maximize Nicole.
I love them.
But I think what people love about you the most is that that's not it for you. Like for you, it's just the joy that exudes, the passion, the fire that's within you, and I appreciate that because, I mean, our family, like we got different characters, different types, different personalities, and we need this positivity, and we need it to spread, and I think that health has definitely done something for you that is spiritual,
and
that is extremely spiritual, and that's what we need the audience to understand. You know what I mean? That spirituality doesn't always come on your knees. Sometimes it comes on the treadmill. It's a journey, and it looks different.
It's crazy that you say that. I'm gonna let you keep going, but I'm just thinking
No.
things.
Go ahead, share something.
I'm just thinking about things that people get to share with me about what they're going through and how they got to where they are. I'm talking 2.5 years ago. One of my favorite clientele that I work with, one of my favorites, She says that 2.5 years ago she couldn't walk. She couldn't walk. You know, now she's killing it right now. And in our studio training, you know, she does her one-on-ones, her personal training. They've developed your body to get back to its normal, you know, functional movement. That's the beauty of fitness. So, I thought about that when you said that because she's been through it religiously as well. So that's what I wanted to get into. It turned her around. Fitness said, you know what? How am I'm exploring my body, now I'm exploring my interests spiritually from the inside out. So she changed with fitness too. It's crazy.
That's
They don't even
so good.
You don't even ever think that there's a correlation, but there is. There is.
That's so good.
Regional interdependence.
And
We don't even know what the correlation is, but it comes together.
There you go.
there's so much, man. Like there's so much, and it's just we can go on for days. And for you, what have you learned about yourself?
Me, I learned that I am stronger than I thought I was, and I don't even mean that in a physical sense. I think in the mental state of mind, I think I'm stronger than I thought I was. I learned that you know that phrase that says, "Oh man, you can achieve anything you put your mind to." I lived that. I lived that, you know, and it was like one of those things where I had this goal in mind, and I achieved it. And even to this day, I'm not satisfied. You know, I want to keep going. You know, it's an ongoing thing. You know, it doesn't end when you're achieving a goal. Now, all right, put another date on the calendar. I'm huge with putting dates in calendars. So I call them, well, in the bodybuilding world, you call them meets or you call them show day, whatever the case is. So I pretend as if I'm getting ready for a show. And for example, I went to Florida last week, and from January till last week, I trained to get as shredded as possible. And I wasn't going to be on the beach anywhere. It was just a goal of mine, you know, and just keep me motivated. So I'm constantly putting things in my calendar. And then she brought up quarantine, which I thought was interesting because I had a conversation with a friend of mine during quarantine because their gym shut down. And they were like, man, I don't know what to do. And I'm, you know, what are you doing in quarantine? I'm like, well, I'm working out at home. How? I have dumbbells. I'm lunging. I have resistance bands. You want it, you're going to make it work.
That's so good.
There's also outside.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
all that,
we were
man,
in March.
Workouts right there.
That's
You
so
know,
good.
We're in March. You go for a run. Go lunge for a little bit. Do squatting outside. Do jump squats. Whatever the case is, go to a park.
Move that body.
The
Right,
parks were so
exactly.
full for a little bit.
Until they shut them down. Then you go back inside and you work
Figure
with
it out then.
Figure it out.
Yeah, figure it out. But you know, if for me, I learned that I am mentally stronger than I thought I was.
That's so good.
You know?
That's so good. I mean, if you guys aren't inspired by what these two people shared, I don't know what to tell. but I'm hoping that we understand through this podcast, and it begins a whirlwind of questions within your mind, within your soul, within your spirit, to help you to understand and to hopefully lead you to living a more healthy lifestyle, to adding little components to your life until you find what works for you. And when we talk about what the Apostle John's purpose is, you know, he said, I want you to prosper in everything, body, soul, and spirit. Right. And there's so many other questions that I had for you guys, but we'll leave it for maybe a part 2 down the road, because people need this. People need this. And we love you guys. We do this for you. So please subscribe. There's going to be more and more episodes like this. We love ya. Let's go. Boom.